A Mexican lawyer for Ethan Couch, also known as the Affluenza teen, is raising the possibility that he might seek asylum. It's all to avoid deportation back to the United States. Couch and his mother fled to Mexico last month amid an investigation into whether the 18-year-old violated the terms of his probation for killing 4 people while driving drunk in 2013. The two were arrested Monday in Puerto Vallarta. Couch's mother, Tanya, is in custody in Los Angeles. She faces a hearing this coming week. So should Ethan Couch be allowed to remain in Mexico, or should he face justice here in Texas? That's our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can also weigh in on Twitter. Use the hashtag Fox26forlife. Joining us live in our newsroom is our panel led by our senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico, our news analyst, Mustafa Tamiz, and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Well, I haven't met anyone who doesn't think he should be returned to Texas to face justice here. But Chris, is there an argument to be made, as his attorney says, that because he didn't commit a crime in Mexico, they don't need to release him back to the U.S.?
No. I mean, that's a failed argument. We have an extradition treaty with Mexico that says if someone commits a crime in the United States and flees to your country or is found in your country, you will return them. The only exception to that is in cases involving the death penalty, which this is not. Mexico does not have the death penalty and will not extradite anyone who's facing a death penalty. But in this circumstance, Ethan Couch committed a crime in the United States, and when the United States says you need to send him back, Mexico has to follow that treaty and should send him back. And I expect that once his writ, we call it a writ of habeas corpus, they call it a writ of amparo in Mexico. Once that works through the system, I think he'll be sent back, and he'll face justice here in the United States. The sad thing about this case is his mother and he have turned a simple probation violation into 2 new felonies that could land both of them in prison. And quite frankly, because he's a juvenile, his mother could end up with a bigger punishment than the son, Jackie Bally, all because she in her mind thinks I'm protecting my son by teaching him to flee from justice.
So we're not surprised by any of their actions, right? Because this is a family that felt that they actually could get with their lawyer and claim, because I live a life of privilege, I should not be held accountable for my own actions. And so the fact that a judge actually agreed with that argument and now he violates his probation, of course they're going to flee, and of course the mother's going to help him. Oh, and it gets even better. They held a party, a going away, a farewell party for him, as there were the family and friends saying, we know you broke the law again, and have fun while you go to Mexico. I mean, so we're not surprised by any of this. Hopefully he will get sent back, deported back to the United States. And this time, instead of giving him probation, because he did kill 4 people and injure many other people in this incident, now let him sit in jail and think about exactly what's going on and what he's done.
What about this? I mean, you know, this is the craziest story I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't care about this guy. I think he should be in jail. I think he should stay in Mexico, and he probably stays there long enough, he'll end up in a Mexico jail. This guy is just headed for trouble, and he hasn't got what he deserves yet, and he will. But it really underscores a larger issue, right? To me, we were talking about, for example, marijuana for a long time. Should it be decriminalized or not? And this is the case, right? If you're young and you have a little bit of means, you go down a different track, a legal path, than if you're poor and if you're a person of color. Because if this guy was African American and he got involved,
he'd already been in prison.
He would have been in prison. There would not have been a parole. And that's a consistent thing in our justice system that we see across the country, that if you're of privilege and you can hire the right lawyer, you get off. And if you're not, you spend a lot of time in jail, which the rest of us pay for.
There's no reason to jump on the lawyers, Mustafa, okay?
Or those of us.
Hey, listen, I didn't say anything when we were talking about you're 55 and most people think you're older, but now, you know, the lawyer stuff.
She's monitored our social media.
All right, this has obviously been all over social media this week. I'll go to Kurt first. He says, I've discovered it, a cure for affluenza, being placed behind bars surrounded by 3 concrete walls. Thank me later for curing you, hashtag Ethan Couch. Mandy says, now this was a hashtag trending all week, Carrot Top. She says, Ethan Couch dyed his hair when they went on the run, so I'm guessing his mother, Tanya Couch, disguised herself as Carrot Top. A lot of people thought that the two resembled each other. And then at Flint 1963 says, if Ethan Couch is only looking at 120 days in jail, why is he fighting extradition? Money can't buy good sense.
Certainly it cannot buy good sense, and that's the problem here. Is he was facing really a minor probation violation problem as a juvenile, and I really don't think that his ultimate punishment here for this probation violation would have been nearly as great as what's going to happen right now. But let me answer the question about Carrot Top. People have been asking all week, is the mother really Carrot Top? No is the answer, but she is just as entertaining. And so,
well, I find it interesting that liberals like Mustafa always jump on, well, you know, if he didn't have money because he's a person of privilege, and of course that's what the case is. But I think we need to focus more on parenting, regardless of the money, because there was a social worker that came into their house whenever they were getting a divorce and said at the age of 9, this young man was making ridiculous decisions. His mother was hooked on painkillers. The dad was an alcoholic. So this goes beyond just a white versus black person or somebody of money. You need to look at the parents, regardless of the color of their skin, regardless of where they are on the socioeconomic ladder, and look at parenting skills. That's really what the issue is here.
We got under 30 seconds. I know you've been moving in the chair. You got to respond to that.
You know, I find it hilarious that the defense is called Affluenza, and we're not talking about people of privilege. I mean, that's the whole point of him getting off of Affluenza, is because he's someone of privilege. And this happens all the time with people of money. And people of color tend to get the short stick of the law. And here we're arguing about that. If it's unbelievable.
Well, there we go.
Hey, and there are some black
Happy
people
New
with
Year.
money, by the way. Some black
Happy
people
New
do
Year.
have money. I'm just saying.